What's up, guys? Anthony Rodriguez here, producer of the God Soundtrack Suite Vol.1. And today we're talking about the Garden of Eden, the soundtrack, the fourth installment of the soundtrack suite. And I'm going to go straight to the biblical text because we must share that. Very important. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Chapter 2 in Genesis. And the Lord God planted a garden toward the east in Eden. And there he placed the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God caused to grow every tree that is pleasing to the sight and good for food, the tree of life, also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now a river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 rivers. There's more detail to the garden, but just wanted to stop there. We are in the Dolby Atmos session with the playback set to 2.0 direct. And for each track, I've expressed the green balls in the box in the Dolby Atmos render. Just in case if you didn't watch the other ones, the bed in Dolby Atmos are the physical speakers that we see with our eyes. So you could be at a small Atmos room, a medium-sized Atmos room, or a large Atmos room. What you see with your eyes are the speakers, which are considered the bed, away from objects. So the green balls in the Dolby Atmos render are objects, and there are metadata information of the placements that you choose to put the objects, which are green. So anywhere in the 3D sound field, you can place the instruments or effects, reverb, delays, whatever you want to put, and that metadata is distributed through the physical speakers to play it in a way of how you intended the mix or the placements. So that is pretty much it. So the speakers with the Dolby Atmos render communicates with the setup, and the metadata is formed through communication and distribution of the speaker spitting out the sound according to how you set everything up. And that's pretty much a basic explanation of that. So we're going to get into the track now. Each track has a description of the word, the biblical word, and I took it as a script and I used my imagination to create the soundtracks. So we are in the 4th installment right now. So we're going to start with the beginning. So that whole section right there is just like the beginning of the creation. So you hear like the little synthesizer sounds going doo, 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 doo. And that's like picturing butterflies, little, I'm not going to use the word magical, but little things of creation, like the vibe of creation. So as we go into it, it gets a little bit more aggressive. Now we're talking mountains, more ground. So the higher we get in the track, you can hear the strings going up and down. And then going forward, the rhythm changes a bit. I think we get into like a part where kind of pictured water or something like that, rivers, like the word says. And we continue back, and then we continue on. I just love reverb tails and delays. I love hearing those things. Okay, so Garden of Eden is similar to Beginning of Time, track 3. The reverbs, if I have reverbs, they're sent directly to the Atmos verb, as you can see right here. So the sends here, they're not going to objects. The tracks itself are in movement or placed differently in the sound field. So I don't have, as you can see, my session, there's just the tracks of the instruments, and they're placed in different parts for this session. And then whatever I want as reverb, it's all thrown to the Atmos verb. So you can see right here. You see the reverb channel, it's holding all the reverb, so I have everything coming out. And then so now we're gonna go over each track real quick, because this is a basic Atmos thing. And I'm gonna show you the what's on the bed and what's an object. Let's go from the beginning real quick. So we have the strings. So the strings are, you're not going to see them here in the box. In the renderer, they're in the bed, left and right. With the reverbs and the Atmos verb, yeah, I love that. It sounds nice. And we're looking at basses. I guess these would be the low strings. I think they're just basses though. The basses and the string section. No LFE in this track. I'm not using the LFE channel. And there is no reverb being sent, of course. Is there? No. No reverb sent. That's straight up dry. And then we have appreciated synth. And I placed these just like that. And you can see it. You can see it in the renderer. That's how I placed it, right behind. And moving on, flutes are placed, their object as well. They are placed a little bit in the, on the height, with size at 11%. Let me see when these come in. You can see the render, they're a little bit in the high. So the arpeggiated synth was a little low, and then these flutes are in the same place, but they're higher, intended that way. And then next, we have movement happening here. You can feel it behind, just as you can see it on the render. That's what I'm hearing right now with my headphones. And if you were to be in a studio, the bed speakers would distribute that. They would communicate with each other to get that metadata out into the room. Just imagination. Having an imagination, you can create beautiful things. And then you have the choir. The choir is also an object, and it's placed in the back. No reverb sent on that one. Let me see. No reverb sent on that one. Surprised. No reverb sent on that one. And then we have high percussion. I have it in from the front, but closed in a bit with size. And then the low percussion, I have them in the back. So, oh, yeah. Just picture hitting the ground, gang, gang, just creating rocks and mountains and just creating it, you know. You combine that with the high percussion. This is the image that you see in the renderer. So we have the high percussion and the low percussion in the back. Any reverb sent? Yeah, very tiny bit of reverb on the high percussion, very tiny. I'm looking at this guy over here. Yeah. And then nothing on the low perk. I usually don't mess with reverbs for the low percussion with a bunch of rumble in the bottom. I don't mess with that. I do once in a while, depending, it has to be part of the sound design, but for something constant like that, I do not put reverb on the low percussion. Just a no-no for me. So then we have another set of strings, which I have no idea what this is. Oh, this is a special part. Oh, okay. What's this doing? Oh, okay. Imagination. Oh, okay. And one. Oh. Listen, bro. You know, this album, let me tell you, this album was released first as singles and then as a full album. And, you know, this is just, I enjoyed making this, you know. I don't remember this mix session, because this is maybe 2023, 2024. As an album, it came out in 2025 as a full album. Pretty cool, man. I just like it, you know. There's nothing to say. What the? Okay, there's nothing on this channel here. So just to see everything together as one. I've also decided to put some size on all the objects because it felt right when I was mixing it. And so yeah. So you saw the green objects, the green balls moving around and placed. This is similar to beginning of time. The reverbs, not a lot happening, and it's all about not going too extreme or not doing or making sure you're not doing too little, but just kind of making sure that it feels right. And this is the case with this one. Garden of Eden is a track where, you know, God is creating. So we first some stomps, we first some hits, and to me that signifies ground. There was parts where it felt like very light, so air, trees, plants, and then some parts felt like it was water streaming and all that good stuff. So that's what this gave me, the word plus the music. Very simple. The tracks are not, you know, extremely long, 3 minutes maybe, because we're going from you know, we're building a story. So anyway, this is Garden of Eden, the 4th installment in the God Soundtrack Suite Vol.1. I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes. And you can stream this in Dolby Atmos on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Tidal. If you have AirPod Max, Sonos Ace, Beats Pro, AirPods Pros, anything that has spatial audio or Dolby Atmos capability, or even sound bars with Dolby Atmos capability, you can enjoy these songs in Atmos as well. Okay, so the playback was set to 2.0 direct, so you were able to hear the Atmos mix. If you're wearing headphones, it's a better experience, but you know, with speaker systems, this also translates well on any speaker system. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.